Now that we have our data frame ready, let's start building our customer contact list. The requirement is to create a list that contains the following information from a customer: the first name, last name, the country of the customer, so the address of the customer, and also the email address of the customer. To be able to do this, we first need to know how we can select data from a given data frame. So currently, these are all the columns available in our data frame. So when we use the print schema method, we can look at the current schema of our data frame, and we realize that the customer data frame can only give off 3 of the required fields, namely the first and the last name and the email address. So the other information like street, state, so street, the country, the city, the state, or the street number, and even the postal code are in a different file. So this is a file that contains address, and this file has an ID in the customer file. So later we will have to merge both files into one data frame to be able to create this list. But for now, let us learn how we can select columns from data frames. So to select fields from a data frame, we have many possibilities. So let's start with the easiest one. We go to our customer and then use the select method. The select method has 2 overloads. One, it takes strings, so just the name of the column, and the second one takes columns object. Let's start with this one, where we can pass in the columns name we are interested in. So this is the C first name, the C the customer last name, and the customer email address. We can print it just to show. Let's print only 5 of them. So this is one way to select data from a data frame. To select columns from a data frame. The second way is to use columns object. This means we must do it like this. And then pass in the name of the column. So C first name, and then also we can also do like this, C last name, but we can't pass in another field just as string. This doesn't work because this overload of the select method takes columns object. So when we do that, we have something like that, an error saying that we cannot convert from string to column. That's why we can remove this one, and also let's say display 5 of them. The third way to select data from a data frame is by using SQL. We can use SQL by using the select expression method. So this method takes a valid SQL expression and applies it to a data frame. So let's see how this looks out. We can do something like this, and as long as the column name exists, it will work fine. So see last name, and then we can also print 5 of them. The select expression method is a quite powerful one because we can write complex SQL queries and just pass them in a string. That's how for now. I will not show you all that's possible with the select expression method, but we will first concentrate our effort to understand what's possible with the data frame using the DataFrame API. And later, when we are learning about Spark SQL, we will learn more about the select expression method. So we can now build this. And then run it to see the results. So there's a mistake here. Yep, I've got it. You can see that the first one works perfectly. This is first name, C first name, last name, and the email address, and here first name and last name. I make a mistake here. You have to do something like this. Then we can build it. And run it again. And now we have it. So the first statement select the first name, the last name, and the email address. That's this is this result. The second one just select the first and the last name, is this result, and the third one using the select expression is this one. So now this was just to demonstrate how we can select how we can select columns. Now let's create our data frame of interest. This is the customer contact data frame equal, and then we remove this and delete these two. Now we have the first 3 columns we need in our report. So we have the first name, the last name, and the email address. Next, we will see how we can get the other fields.